Hello, welcome to another Alarmsei podcast. We're back here again. We have a new guest here. Before I start with my workout update, I'd like to introduce our new guest.
All right, yeah. So, I knew these guys from high school. Pretty cool dudes. My name's Connor. I'm 19. I'm not a freshman, sophomore at the University of Arkansas. Obviously, I'd like to work out, given that I'm here, as well as fish. So I'll talk about that whenever they ask those questions.
Cool. Yeah. So speaking of working out, I'd like to share some updates. Like I said, I told y'all I made a goal, or like a kind of a commitment to work out 5 times a week, and it's been going well so far. Ever since the start of the podcast, I had an upper body workout today, which felt nice. Deadlifts and the bench press were one of the major highlights today, and I made a decision to incorporate Saturday as one of my workout days because I feel like I'm missing out one of the parts. Because Monday, Wednesday, Friday I would do arms, Tuesday I would do mostly abs, Thursday I would do cardio, but I have no space for like the major leg lifts, so I guess we can place them on Saturday. So that's my new resolution that I made. So from now on I'll start doing Saturdays as well. And then Sunday is completely rest day. That's my new resolution and update on how I'm gonna run things. So what are y'all's update? If any of you don't have to share, but if any of you have any workout updates, then feel free to share.
I'll go. Yeah. So I've been taking this vitamin D supplement. It's like this little tiny pill, but it's like a bottle. We got like 400 of them or something, and it's like 5,000 IU. And I'm not sure the science behind it, but vitamin D apparently can like improve your mood and like the immune system, obviously, and like, but also like muscle health, I believe. So maybe that's why, like recently for the past couple of weeks, I've been able to like box and like I don't feel those off days where like I don't feel explosive or like my muscles get tired fast. I'm not really having those, so I think that's just interesting. So
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. Yeah.
You know what's good for muscle recovery?
what's up?
Magnesium. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like these magnesium pills you take though.
I drink Body Armor. I think they got magnesium in
Yeah.
that when I
Oh,
was
yeah. Got a lot of supplement stuff now.
Yeah.
Like supplements are a huge industry now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for real.
The only thing to be careful with is don't replace all your food with supplements. You still gotta eat the right food because some
Yeah.
things can't replace the food.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so do y'all drink any type of like special drinks? Cause I like Body Armor. Really, I went to Body Armor because I was looking for something that had less sugar but had like all the vitamins and stuff. And like I drink like the fruit punch. Y'all drink anything like that, like Gatorade or anything like that?
Like, are you talking about
Like electrolyte
recovery
drinks.
stuff? Or
Yeah, I get, or like any type of supplements, I guess. But
Alright.
I guess that's my main supplement, is
Alright.
Body Armor and vitamin D.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, take pre-workout.
Mhm.
I take it. I used to take it a lot more. I'm starting to lean off of it because the caffeine, like
Yeah.
it's. I mean, it really just keeps you up way too late, and it's just not good for you ultimately. Especially if you go, I think the recommended limit is like 400 milligrams or so a
Yeah.
day. And every so often, you might see me go above that. So.
Yeah.
I'm trying to lean off of that, but all the supplements that still give sort of a decent like energy
Yeah.
and like recovery afterwards and like endurance during your workout. But nowadays I'm trying to like be more aesthetic. So like I'm not lifting super heavy. I'm not really trying to gain like a lot of strength, right? Because not only does that kind of like put a lot of strain on your joints and all that lifting heavy, but also I don't know, it's not the greatest for you, but so I've been trying to do sort of more cardio stuff as well as like repetitions, like higher repetitions, because that will get you a lot more lean and kind of cut, which is what I'm trying to go for right now. But yeah, I've kind of completely knocked off like deadlift type stuff. Mostly because I work at Planet Fitness now, so they don't allow that kind of stuff.
They don't allow deadlifts?
Nah.
Why not?
Well, first of all, they don't have those they don't have like a deadlift area.
deadlift rack or something.
And yeah, they don't have like a free barbell to do that on. So like if you want to do bench press or all right, calm down.
That's not far.
If you want to do bench press or whatever or a squat or something, you have to do it on a Smith machine.
Oh.
Which at first I was super skeptical. I just really didn't like that because I'm so used to doing, the traditional stuff. But like after a while, like it's perfectly fine. Like I can hit everything. And like I said, I'm not going super heavy anymore, so it's not as important to me. But just the fact that I work there and I get that free membership, like there's really no point in me spending money on like another place, especially since a lot of the gyms in Arkansas that aren't like big chains are really expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. LA Fitness is out of our budget for sure. It's
Yeah.
just- what price? LA Fitness.
LA Fitness. How much do they charge?
I think it's like $100 a month, right?
Oh.
No, maybe not.
You
Probably
full charging
less.
rent, what?
Probably like 8. I know
80.
I know there's a place called Lifetime Fitness. Don't
Yeah.
quote me on this, but they charge like $87 a month or something.
I think
80 something. I don't know.
yeah.
That's from what
I mean, if
I.
you can't sleep,
if I can remember
if you
correctly.
can't sleep in there and they ain't got a refrigerator, I don't know what they charging like that for. But yeah.
Yeah.
And their pool is not even as good as some cheaper places.
Yeah.
Like the Plano Center I go to, you get to membership to several locations, not just one. You get a membership to all the locations in one city, and the pools there are really nice. They're much nicer than pools at the expensive place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And also like the gym, they have every single piece of equipment you need to get a full workout in.
Yeah. And it's actually kind of cool though. I mean, it's cool that a lot of people are getting into fitness and have like over this past like January, but at the same time, like all the people that have been lifting for years, like all these gyms are getting so crowded, and that's also another reason why I stopped paying for one of the memberships I had in Arkansas, because I mean, no matter what time of day I'd come, like it was hard to get on anything, you know what I mean? Because I guess that's also because there's a lot of kids there and they like to work out, but still, like even the Texas Friendly down there, I tried to go over like the entire parking lot, completely filled. Yeah,
It's crowded, right?
it's usually pretty crowded. Yeah, which I don't mind. It's just I need to be able to get on the equipment that I want. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is important to actually do the exercise.
Yeah.
You gotta wait like 5 minutes just to get on the equipment. That's a lot of wasted time.
You said that UTD gym has that, right?
Oh, bro, the
UTD gym.
It's like a line waiting for the equipment. They have like 5 people in front of you waiting. It's crazy. Because they don't have that much equipment. They got a bunch of students. They got nice equipment, but they have like 2 places where you deadlift, like 2 squat racks. You can imagine there are tons of students on campus that all go to that gym, and it's crowded, and so now you have 5 people waiting in front of you just to get to that equipment. So
Yeah. You talking about the rec center?
yeah, rec center,
Okay.
ETD.
Right. Yeah. See, like, sorry.
So,
No, I was gonna say that was also an option for me. Like my freshman year, given that COVID was still like a big thing, there wasn't a lot of people doing workouts there, especially because the attendance was way down. So the rec center was like perfect for me. But now that everyone's come back and you don't have to have a mask on anymore. Like even that gym is like just I can't get on shit. So
Yeah. So I know, like we said in the previous podcast, fishing season is starting. Like the good opportunities for big bass is starting since it's springtime. All the spawning is gonna happen, and we are actually Daniel and I are actually going on a fishing trip to Lake Fork. Most likely very soon in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm excited about that. And what are you looking forward to? Like, what kind of fish do you think? Like, what kind of goals do you have for bass and other fish?
I'm just looking for a PR on a bass. Last time, it was so frustrating. So we were on the boat in the middle of the lake. We were going deep lake fishing, and when we were fishing, I caught something big. Oh God, this is big! I start reeling it in, but as soon as I reel it in, I made the mistake of reeling it above the water, and it was a big bass. It was like 5.5 pounds or something like that. I was like, I got so excited because I was about to get a new PR and lift it, and the line just snaps before anyone could even grab the fish.
Yeah,
Like
I saw that.
the guy, our friend, Mr. Paul, he's the guy who owns like the property by Lake Fork and the boat that we went on. He invited us. He almost got it, but he couldn't get it. And it wasn't his fault at all. It was my fault. I was just bad at fishing.
Yeah.
It was just frustrating, you know. But I'm hoping to beat that. I want to get a nice 8-10 pound bass this season.
I mean, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean it. Did I interrupt you?
You're
Alright.
good.
Yeah, like Lake Fork's really tough for sure because like you're basically on top of a forest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like literally just above the top of the trees of the forest. And like you can get stuck on just about anything.
Yeah.
So like even if you got like some really expensive braid, you know, like I mean, eventually you're gonna get caught on something that's not gonna snap off, and you're gonna need to like snap your line. But yeah, I mean, what worked for me mostly I'd say at Lake Fork whenever I went. I think that was like last summer or so, or yeah, was like a crankbait, like a really bright crankbait. Red is what I use, I think. And that was like it was also a deep diving crankbait. So I think it was around like 15 feet or so. Yeah, I even used one that went even deeper, but I got most results off that. I didn't get anything huge, but I got a lot of fish off that.
That's good.
So, yeah.
Yeah. How's fishing in Arkansas? Is it have you fished a lot in Arkansas?
Yeah. I gotta say, it's a lot more challenging for me. I don't really know why, but the fish just don't bite as much. Maybe I'm doing I guess I'm doing something wrong, but yeah, I've actually switched to almost using live bait most of the time because I just get fed up with it. You know, I mean, I like the sport of fishing with artificial lures and all that because it's a lot more fun, especially when you catch something. But artificial bait, I mean, you're almost guaranteed to catch something at that point. So, or not artificial, sorry, live bait.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's challenging. But I did really enjoy catching trout on the White River.
Texas doesn't have the trout, right?
Maybe in some parts, I don't know. But yeah, dude, White River. I have some pictures I can show y'all, but it is awesome. Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, it's hard to catch trout. I would think it's hard to catch trout because you gotta land the line perfectly. And
Yeah.
And the current's also like carrying it away and things like that. So
yeah. Supposedly a lot of things work with trout, like a spoon or something that's super bright and shiny that like spins in the water. You know. Supposedly that works, but I tried that and it didn't work, at least for me. But what worked for me was you pretty much just put like it's like one of those little egg imitations on a hook. It's got to smell like garlic or something that attracts the fish, and then you throw it in there, and eventually they take it. But it's hard doing it in a river because it'll just keep going, right? Like the water will just keep taking it, and then eventually it'll just get caught in the grass or something. So you got to put a weight on there so it goes down. But yeah, that worked the best for sure.
Yeah. Have you gone fishing recently, Caleb?
No, it's funny because actually, my dad had got me a rod and we was gonna go fishing one of those days. But I never was really interested in fishing necessarily. I did want to catch a fish though. Yeah. Just I don't know why, but I kind of like the way fish feel. I've touched them before, but I guess that there's like that sense of accomplishment. Like when you get one, it'd probably be like different. Like if you do it for the first time, which I have yet to experience. But when I do, I bet it'll probably be something that I can probably be like, oh, now I want to do it some more and stuff like that. Yeah. But I wonder like how it feels, like for y'all. Like is like what's better, like a personal best on a fish or like a PR at like the weight room or something like that?
That's a good question.
Personal best for me. I like going after the big bass. It's my favorite thing. It's so exhilarating when you get a big bass or a big fish on your line. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. It's also, I feel like it is more satisfying to get your PR on bass because with weightlifting, like you can train every day and you're going to progressively get stronger at some point, even if it's like you hit a block or something, or you get I don't know what is it called, a plateau exactly. But yeah, eventually you'll find a way to like get past that and you'll get another PR. But like you never know when you're gonna get like your best bass or like just a massive fish, So
It's always a surprise, you know.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk about is how the lakes are in Arkansas, because I've been to some Arkansas lakes and they're very rocky and the water is
Yeah.
much more clear than Texas lakes.
Yeah.
They're like very, lots of rocks and they seem a lot less trees than underneath Lake Fork, for example.
Mhm.
And I bet like having clear water gives you an advantage for shallow water fishing, right? Do you think the rocky terrain of those lakes also somehow impacts the way fish behave rather than the Texas lakes?
I mean, yeah, that's definitely a pretty good area of fish, like for sure. Whenever you find a rocky area, because the rocks heat up, and then if they're near the water, then it'll heat up the water, so the fish will come up to that. But especially if it is, it's not hot. Like if it's hot outside, obviously the fish are going to be everywhere. It doesn't really matter exactly where, even if there's like rocks over here. But yeah, if it's been cold and then the sun heats up the rocks, then that's exactly where they'll be. So that's a pretty good spot. But yeah, the lakes I've been to Beaver Lake in Arkansas. It's amazing. Everywhere in Arkansas just looks like a nature reserve.
Definitely,
Like
I love Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very mountainy. Like there's like cabins and houses like all along like the lake everywhere I looked. I didn't get to go out on a boat on the lake, but I fished around the lake and it was like the water was very clear. But yeah, I think Beaver Lake is the only big lake I've been to near me. Otherwise, I've just been fishing like ponds and little creeks and stuff like that. But yeah.
Ponds are way harder to fish.
Yeah.
It's challenging to fish at ponds
I
because you
mean-
have no idea where the bass are. or
Yeah.
any of the fish.
Yeah, because you're not on the boat and you can't see and also I think the water's more muddy in the pond than in the lake.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more muddy there.
I'm actually selling my boat because we don't have anything to tow it anymore. So yeah, I kind of have to sell it. Plus, I can't take it to Arkansas with me since I'm there like most of the time.
You're selling it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anybody wants to buy it, we're trying to get $1,500, $1,600 for it. Yeah.
They was talking about what was that? The 2 podcasts ago, they was talking about like $80,000 boats and like sonar equipment and all that stuff.
That stuff. Yeah, that's like dream equipment right there.
Oh,
It's very, very expensive though.
yeah.
But I mean, some people are, I wouldn't say I'm a fanatic, but some people just gotta have all that stuff. And I'd say it definitely makes a difference, like the sonar and all that, because especially if it's an expensive one. Because I've seen some of that stuff, and being out on a bass boat, like if they have that radar there, like there's so many different things you can see. You can see like the terrain under there,
and the trees.
You can even see like how big the fish is
And how big the school of fish, right? There's multiple fish,
Yeah.
It's especially useful when you find a school of minnows. No, there's going to be some big fish around there hunting for them. And so you just throw down your bait on there and boom, you're bound to get something.
Yeah, sonar definitely helps, especially with deep lake fishing when you can't see very far down. Like 30 feet down, the sonar is able to detect anything underground, under the water. So yeah.
Have you guys heard of I don't know if I remember correctly, but basically, a friend Mr. Paul was telling us about this, it's not a radar, but it's like a live feed of something. It's like a camera underwater. I don't know this. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
I feel like it was much more high-end and expensive, but
I
basically.
think I remember something
some
vaguely like that,
Yeah.
That would be really cool though.
Yeah, you can actually see the bass like on a recording right there.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a bass, let's just go fish for it.
Yeah, I feel like, you definitely know that there was something there, but it would also kind of take some of the fun out of it
Yeah.
because you don't really know for sure, unless you put a camera down there and actually see that there's a fish down there. But yeah, a lot of the fun for me is just like being lucky and just managing to get something, despite the fact that, it might not have been. I mean, I don't know. I was just lucky, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like with fishing, pretty much everything has to be perfect. Like you gotta have the right location. They have to be hungry. You gotta have the right lure. You gotta move the lure in the right way.
Yeah.
You gotta. I mean, Yeah,
weather,
exactly.
not too windy. Oh, remember one time we went. Oh, the waves were like 3 feet high, and I got splashed so much. We were going on the boat with Mr. Paul and Daniel once, and that was back in December of last year. The boat was like going up and down, and like it was like bouncing up 5 feet in the air, like boom, boom.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Like it was
It was
insane.
crazy. Every time I bounce, I'd be like holding on because I didn't have a seat. So I was sitting in like this like little divot in a boat, and every time we bounce up, I'm like holding on, and then every time we come back down, my elbows hit, and after the boat ride, both of my elbows were just like scraped off and trying to hold
Yeah.
on to the boat.
Are you talking a bass boat?
Yeah, bass
yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
And it was a rough ride. Like, you know, it was also splashing a lot of water whenever I got soaked from that.
Yeah. You gotta make sure you have your sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, you're not gonna be able to see anything
Oh,
going that fast. But
yeah, you need your polarized sunglasses. Those are expensive. They're like good ones are like $300. It's insane.
yeah.
What?
Yeah. I have. What's the brand? Dude, I don't even know the brand of my sunglasses, but they're polarized and they were kind of expensive. But I'd say it's worth it. And
I mean,
just
if
make sure you
you're
don't lose them.
if you're invested, if you want to invest a lot of time and effort to fishing, definitely worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you lose them, it hurts. It hurts because you're like,
Oh yeah.
that's $300 just down the drain.
I mean, it definitely doesn't help you like see through the water, but it's clear because like the reflections the reflections from the sun kind of dissipate a little bit.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
see it easier, especially only during the day. Sunglasses aren't going to do anything at night, but yeah, they have benefits for sure.
So I wanted to also mention that like Caleb, Jonathan, and I we talked about music last time, right?
Yeah.
So I know Caleb. You guys know that Caleb and I are both rappers, and we have another rapper here actually. Our co-host Daniel, he is a rapper and also been experimenting with some rock music too. So tell us about your music journey and things like that.
So music's always been a thing for me. I don't know if it's kind of like an irony thing because I have hearing loss. For some reason, music just like really attracts me. It's nice. The sounds just hit right. It's kind of like it's pleasing to hear. It's gonna sound weird, but it's kind of like orgasmic to my ears. But that's how it feels. And I've been listening to music my whole life, and only up until recently I started like trying to make music and experiment with it. So for rap, I'm a horrible rapper. I'm not that good, but I've been getting better. I'm trying to experiment with different things like rasp, compression in my voice, things like that, to make it sound more unique, to make it sound more pleasing in my own eyes or ears, I should say. And then I've also been trying to move into singing as well, more like grunge, especially like Nirvana, where they're just like it's like tormented and really just aggressive as well. And I've been trying to do that scream. I can kind of do it, but it's difficult for sure. And I really like his tone and the voice. I've been working on that. I've been doing some covers. Not finished yet. The only problem is I get too caught up everywhere. I do like a cover, I finish it like halfway, move on to the next cover and finish that halfway. I gotta come back to all of that, but it's really fun. I would say I really like it. How about you guys? You've been experimenting anything new?
So the thing, I agree with you on the part, like we both had that same struggle where we halfway finish something and then move on to the next. Like that's kind of why I stopped rapping, except for like features, because features are just easier to do in my opinion. So, but yeah, so I was at a point where I would like halfway finish like a bunch of songs, or like 25%, or even start on a concept and just move on and do a bunch of stuff like that. So I mean, even recently, like I was looking back at this one song I was working on. I was like, man, it sounds so good. Like that's the only thing that'll bring me back. I'm like, it sounds so good. Maybe I should finish it. So I'll like do like a little bit and then like come back. But I think that's one of the problems I have with
Yeah.
music that kind of holds me back a lot. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing some of your stuff. And Alexius, y'all were both pretty good. Not gonna lie. I mean,
yeah,
in my opinion, it was a while ago. I don't remember it fully, but
yeah. We did if we talk about the first song we did a couple more songs since then. So
oh, I bet.
yeah,
It's been a while.
but he been releasing a lot of stuff over the months, a lot of stuff.
Have you heard my new album? Or like not new, but 4 months ago album. Yeah.
I might have.
It's is it the album pictures of him? Wait, is it that picture?
The
where
black
you're
and white?
standing
Yeah,
by
the black and white picture.
Yeah.
I'm standing like by Legacy West.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
sitting there.
top roof parking lot, but he was like sitting next to the pole, trying to give him some tips on how to pose and stuff like that. Turned out pretty good.
I'm a pretty awkward poser, but it turned out well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. We actually were pretty. He was pretty proud of it. I agree. It was a good album.
And Daniel got featured on it. Both Caleb and Daniel,
Yeah.
they're features on the album.
Yeah.
All the songs did pretty decent. Most of them got about 100 views, right?
I mean, I think about 3 of them got at least 100. Yeah.
The satisfying thing about making music, at least for me, is I'll go back to my like original songs, and I'm like, oh, man. Well, not some of my older songs. I'm like, oh man, that is like good, but then like my original song, I'm like, damn, that shit, trash. Like it's not it, But when I listen to stuff that I did recently, or I listen to my features and stuff like that, the change, the evolution, the improvement, it's so satisfying to me. I think that's what deeply attracts me to making music. I think it's like kind of what y'all talk about, like personal records, and like really improving and growing. That's what I love about making music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. It's fun to see where you can go next. And I think the main thing is just to experiment. You gotta experiment with things, or else you're never gonna
Definitely.
improve.
Yeah.
Because you can, if you experiment, you can find a new thing. Every big artist that you've listened to, they've been like trying out like the most random things, and sometimes it fails, and sometimes it just sounds good. But yeah, I would encourage to any artists listening to this, just play around with things. Don't take it so seriously. Don't take it so structured. And don't forget that this is a creative process. This is just for you to express yourself.
Yeah. So do you also make beats, or at least did you do that in the past?
I used to make beats, and in fact, like, let me think for a second. I think every song I released on like my SoundCloud was a beat that I made myself. Yeah, every song.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah, every song except for a feature I did with a friend, but that's on his SoundCloud. I don't mind. So every beat and you can hear, speaking of like music, you can hear like the progression, because like my original beats I made on my phone, and oh my god, it is some of the most horrible. It's like boom, but it's the goofiest sounding stuff. Like it has no rhythm or nothing like that. But then the beats later on get so much better. They're still not that good, because even maybe like a couple years ago when I was working on like a project that I never finished, the beats that I made in that and like FL Studio are like so much better than even the beats that I released on my SoundCloud on my songs.
I'd like to hear some of those better beats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you some.
Are you like I know some people who make productions. Some people like to go complete scratch and just make some new stuff. And some people like to take samples. Are you a sample person, or are you like a complete?
So it depends. It's never. I can't say I'm generally one way or the other, but I do, like, over time I learned tricks and like you said, experimented. So like I learned about midis and like using a MIDI to get us like let's say you have a bell and you put this bell in the MIDI and like it does this melody for you without you having to make the melody, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So that's the easiest way to do that. And so I was doing stuff like that, and like there's a bunch of packs that have like drums in it and have like sound samples where like it'll have like this sound signature that you can just loop, and then you make your own drums or whatever. So I did stuff like that. I'll say like that. Like later on, that was my general production style. Was like taking this loop, this sample, whatever, and then like making my own thing out of it.
Yeah.
So
You got a favorite? Any favorite kits?
it's been so long, I don't even remember, but I was just going everywhere. I was going everywhere to download it, all types of different websites, and like I think there's this website called like Landr, Landr, and like I know they got a lot of good stuff there. So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I used Ableton Lite because it came with so I got this thing called an audio interface. It's like a preamp that can adjust the volume of your mic, how sensitive it is, and then you get a headphone jack that helps get clearer sound and everything. And then you get like a MIDI port where you can attach. When you set a MIDI, MIDIs can be like those there's like how do you call it? Those boxes where you have like the little squares or whatever.
Yeah.
You tap on them, or it could be like a little piano where you put like a certain kit on there or a certain sound on there, and you just play around with it. That's basically what I got, and then it came with Ableton Lite, which I had no idea what it was when I first got it. Then I found out it's like FL Studio. It's one of the most popular production.
Yeah, like DAW, digital audio.
Workstation.
Workstation. Yeah.
So it's cool, but to be honest with you, I have no idea how to use it. When you first start, it's like I don't know what this does or that does. How do I even get to that to a certain feature of this thing? It's weird, but it's a fun journey for sure.
Yeah. I mean, what type of music do you listen to? 'Cause we're talking about
Dude,
music. So.
no, I listen to pretty much everything, honestly. I listen to rap, hip hop, indie, country, rock. You know.
Can I ask you a question? What is indie? I never understood what that is. What
That actually is a good question, and it's hard to describe, really.
It's kind of like rock, but like more folk style, like more like I don't know, like more
like soul almost. Except
Yeah, it's like soul,
like
it's like
country, a little
R&B,
bit country.
soul.
think about think about
like Green Day, no?
But y'all just named
That's
like
rock.
all the
Green Day's
genres.
rock.
Green Day is,
Right.
just think about
I don't know.
indie. Think of what's his name? It's a super popular indie artist.
Billie Eilish? Is
It's the guy.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. My fault.
That's the girl, Billie Eilish.
Oh, I
Is he
didn't know
guy-
you said
he does all the
guy.
production by himself. He had a bunch of some popular TikTok sounds.
I would even almost call Band of Horses indie, like almost. You know what I mean? It's kind of there, right?
Oh, the guy who made The Less You Know, The Better. Isn't he indie?
I don't know.
I'm gonna search it up really quick.
But yeah, it's hard to describe, but
So, you guys, if you have any ideas or like any suggestions that you want to for our next podcasts, you can always feel free to tell us in the comment section or message the Alarmsei podcast on Instagram or just let me know or let us know. I feel like next. Wait, did you find the song or the band?
Oh, it's. I was gonna say I searched up the definition of indie. Apparently, not belonging to or affiliated with any major record or film company. So it's like your own style, whatever you want to do.
that makes
you're
Independent.
It's not necessarily a genre. It's more of a label of how you interact with the industry.
Yeah. I like that's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
And then the artist I was talking about, Tame Impala. I think
I
they're
heard of
indie,
them.
right?
I heard of them.
Yeah.
Well, they weird, so
Yeah.
I
I
know
like the music a lot though. It's really pleasing. I'm gonna see if they're indie.
Well, yeah. While Daniel's looking up the indie, doing some indie research, music research, I'll just say a couple of things that I want to go over on the next podcast. Next podcast, we're going to talk about stocks in crypto. So, that's something I've been more into lately, and I'm sure some of you guys also interested about that. And we're also going to have other topics, and that's going to be a surprise for you. So, stocks in crypto is on the table. Just know that's one of the topics for the next podcast next Wednesday. So, yeah. So do you
Oh,
find
yeah. They're alternative indie.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what most people associate with indie, that kind of style of music. I'm not saying that's what everyone is, but it's similar to that, you know. But I think it's definitely good on genre. I remember you mentioning a little while ago that Juice WRLD was one of your favorite artists, right?
I love Juice WRLD.
Yeah. Recently, though, I've been listening to the Kid Leroy.
Oh yeah, and
Kid Leroy. I
Yeah.
really like that dude's music now. Yeah,
That's good music.
yeah. But I really wish I could be there for the next podcast because I like talking about that stuff. But,
yeah. Well, thanks for listening. Yeah.
Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the
Yeah.
podcast.
Do y'all want to shout out your Instagram or
that's alright. I don't even use
TikTok or
Instagram.
something? I don't know. Cause
What the hell is my TikTok? I don't even remember. I think it's Immortality Serum. Hold on.
Caleb shout out is and
remember to stay safe and healthy.
Sometimes you don't want to be safe. Hold on, I don't want it to play no sound.
see.
Damn. What the, here we go. Where's my profile? Yeah. Okay. My TikTok is Immortality Serum with no space. So, if you want me to spell, I'll spell it. IMMORTALITYSERUM.
Don't forget to also follow the Alarmsei TikTok, Alarmsei Instagram, and the Alarmsei podcast on YouTube.
Yep.
All right, peace out.
Peace out. Stay safe. I